If you're a business owner in New Zealand and you aren't using these three types of AI tools, you're leaving money on the table. They aren't fancy, they're not complicated, anyone can get in there and actually set them up and start saving hours for your team every single week. In this video, I'll walk through the three AI tools that I recommend to every business that I work with and some quick wins on how you can set this up, even yourself if you're not technical. I'm Blake, an AI engineer that's helped over 15 businesses across New Zealand with their AI transformation, so let's jump on in. The first core AI tool you need is a chatbot. The majority of people use ChatGPT at the moment. This is your interface where you can go in, ask questions, it can provide answers out there on the internet, provide you new ideas, and even rewrite your emails. So here's something that you can actually do right away, even on a free plan. Say, for example, you've got a customer email come through and you're not quite sure how to respond to it. Maybe it's quite angry towards you, maybe it's a really confusing question. What you can do is actually pass it into the ChatGPT or whatever AI model it may be and ask it to help you draft a response. I've just generated a fake email here of someone being quite pissed off. I've put it in and I've said, help me draft the response to this customer's email, copied and pasted that email into the chat, and then sent it through. And so what it will do is actually generate an email back out for me in a very professional tone. I've got to tweak it a little bit for my business context, but it helps me word out and structure my responses a lot better, and it's just a real quick and easy win. However, ChatGPT is quite limited in terms of its connections to other software, whereas tools like Gemini are really integrated into that Google environment if you're in Google, Copilot if you're in the Microsoft environment, and Claude is really able to connect to anything. This allows AI to really understand who you are, what you're doing in your business, and provide you much better outputs than the kind of generic ones you may get in other tools. And so this is what a tool called Claude can do. It's basically your same chat interface. You can ask it all the questions. I find its answers are a lot better than ChatGPT. But I also can go down to this add button, go into connectors, and see a whole range of tools that I can connect into. Whether that's my Drive, my Gmail, my calendar, to Notion, and even I can get into Xero for my account billing. It's pretty easy to do. You just go into manage connectors, and in here you'd be able to click on add, browse connectors, and then click on whatever one you would like, sign on in, and then it has access from there. The benefit here is that it's actually fully integrated, and so I want to get it to look at my latest email from Blake from my other account. I want me to find a time in my calendar to meet with them, so it's going to check my calendar, then it's going to create an event, and it's also going to create the email drafts all automatically for me. So as you can see, what Claude's done is gone and read my emails, found the one from Blake. It's realized that he said I've got 11 till 3 p.m. free, then goes and checks my calendar. When do I have free time on Wednesday? Finds out that I'm completely free that day. It goes and then creates a calendar event with him, sends it out to him, and also an email draft. So if I look at my Google Calendar now, I've got a meeting with Blake at 11 till 12, and in my email draft, I have an email back to Blake with the response. I've locked that in from 11 till 12. And so the real power of these AI tools come from when you actually integrate it in with your other software that you use on a day-to-day basis. It's all those quick little admin tasks that build up over time that reduce you from doing that meaningful work. So if AI can help speed those up a lot faster, then it's going to be much more efficient in terms of your workload. The next type of AI tool we need is some kind of voice and transcription one. Humans are much better at communicating orally through our speech than we are typing out messages. And that's why it's really important to have a face-to-face meeting or now an online meeting when you're meeting with new clients rather than doing everything over email. It's so much easier to communicate, build that trust, and be on the same page. But the issue then becomes our memory. We cannot remember what we had for dinner a couple of weeks ago, let alone all these conversations and meetings we're having about all these complex topics. And this is where AI comes in. It can sit there, listen to everything that you're saying in a meeting or while you're walking the dog, you can press record, collates all that information, transcribes it, and now you've got that sitting there as knowledge, but it can also provide you action items and summaries as an overview. There are plenty of tools that you can use for this. Firefly's AI is probably the most popular one, especially for meetings. It joins in as a little Firefly's AI note taker, records the meeting, and provides you a transcript at the end. I use Google Gemini mainly because I am in that Google environment, but there's also Copilot as well, which can do it if you're in that Microsoft one. So it's really up to you. They're all very similar. If you were to use Google Meet or even the Teams meeting function, at the top right you'll either see your Gemini or Copilot icon, and then you can easily just set on continue taking notes or start taking transcriptions. That will turn it on, and then throughout the entire meeting, AI will be sitting behind the scenes, taking notes, and then you get a file at the very end of everything that was said, but also the key action items and an overall summary. So this is what the output looks like for Gemini. Every single meeting that I go into now, I get this output, and I can see who it was with, who was invited, any attachments that were shared, and I've got a full meeting recording in there. I get my summary, what the overview is. This was a really cool conversation around some community projects I've been working on with Will in terms of the AI space. We can see the different details. Here are the key headings we talked about. Of course, AI system privacy and data security. Go all the way through, and then a whole bunch of different action items as well around what people need to do at the end of it. If I need to go see word for word what people said, I can go onto the transcript as well. And then we've got all this, the very generic stuff. But if you scroll down, you'll have all of the stuff that was talked about. That's awesome. I've got everything transcribed now. All of my meeting notes are stored in my drive. But the problem I have is I've got so much information that I've got to search through to try find what I actually need. The benefit here is Claude is also now connected to my Google Drive, and so it can actually go in there and do that search for me. If I need to remind myself what was said about certain things in meetings, what did John say about this, what did we charge him out at, all of that kind of information, AI is really, really good at that knowledge retrieval. For example, what did Will say about Claude in one of our meetings in Drive? It goes through. First it tried to find Frankie, but that's not correct. Then it went through and found Will Fleming's meeting notes, and then it was talking about how people are using Claude Code and running it for 24 hours with all these complex rules, and it's just mind-blowing what it can do. And so this can be used for anything, any search of that meeting transcripts. You've now got word for word what the client has said and what you've said, and you can go and search that easily as. The last one I want to talk about is automation tools. These have been around for a very long time, but they're really more powerful when you have these AI integrations inside of them. There are three different ones that you can kind of go for. One is Make, which is kind of the easier version if you're not technical at all. Then there's Zapier, which if you're in the kind of the middle ground of technical capabilities, or if you're a real developer focused, N8N can pretty much automate anything. If you're a business owner and your staff or yourself are doing the same repetitive process with a slight change every single week, every single day, you shouldn't be doing that anymore in 2026. These automation tools can pretty much automate anything now. Automation opportunities are so dependent on the individual business, what you and your staff are doing on that daily or weekly basis. One of the quick wins I got for a client here is around keeping their track record spreadsheet up to date. It's a very simple one, but saves a lot of time. People were going at the end of each month, taking out the Xero invoices, which had all of the client information of the jobs they've done for that past month, then going into a spreadsheet and uploading those in and recoding them across. And so this is a massive spreadsheet, their track record, all the jobs they've done that they can use and reference for future clients. This is a great task for automation as it is just copying information from one system into another, so it's really quick and easy to set up. So all this does is it goes into Xero each night, checks for any new invoices that have come through, goes into Google Sheets, their track record spreadsheet, and verifies if these invoices are already logged in. If not, it will go through and add a new row. If there's been an update, say for an example, an invoice has gone through, it's already added to a spreadsheet, and now they've actually changed the pricing terms or whatever it may be, any other comments, it will go and update that as well. And so this stops them at the end of each month spending up to 4 hours going through all of their invoices and recoding them across to a spreadsheet, which again is saving them time that they can spend on more valuable tasks. So those are three types of tools that every business in New Zealand needs. Firstly, you need to have your core chatbot that can answer all your quick fire questions, rewrite emails, do some research for you, but it's more important that it actually connects into your business systems, and then the outputs aren't just that generic output like a lot of the ones do. Then you need your meeting note takers that can transcribe all of your conversations so you never forget what was said with a client. Thirdly, you need your automation tools. Any tasks that your staff or yourself are doing on a daily or weekly basis, that should be automated these days so you can provide your own time on those value-adding tasks. I help businesses work smarter, not harder with AI right across New Zealand. If your business needs help with their AI transformation, book a free chat with me in the link in the description. See you around.